What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Jason. I'm back. It's been a while. I know, life has been very busy, been very crazy. It's also been good in a lot of ways. A lot of new changes in my life. My wife is pregnant with our second child. We're gonna have a boy, so that's awesome. My daughter, my first child, she's growing like crazy. She just had her birthday August the 19th, so she just turned 2. Today I got some free time, so I figured I'd just make a video. We're gonna be removing some valves on the cylinder head here. I'm gonna show you guys how to remove those. I'm probably not gonna remove all of them. I'll just probably remove maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3, just to give you guys an idea of how to remove those. And I got a tool that I bought from Harbor Freight that helps me compress these springs. The tool works so good. I am planning here in the future to be more consistent on these car videos. I have a lot of ideas that I want to shoot videos on, and yeah, so it's good to be back, and I'm gonna try to make more consistent videos. And yeah, so today we're gonna remove these valve springs and valves and holders, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. All right, let's get to it. All right, so this is the tool here that we're gonna be using. I got this from Harbor Freight. I can't remember how much it was, but it was pretty cheap. But this thing works so good. I've had really no problems using it. You know, so basically how you use this tool is these 2 arms here, they'll clamp onto the valve springs, and then you'll turn this, and it basically what it does is it compresses the spring so that you're able to remove the keepers and remove the valves. But awesome tool. I know there's a different kind that you can use as well. But yeah, so I got this one from Harbor Freight. Like I said, it's super awesome. So yeah, let's get into removing these valves. Alrighty. So let's see here. Alright, so we're probably gonna do this one here because you guys can see this one a little bit better. Here, I'll try to adjust the. There we go. All right, so I'm just gonna hop right into it. So you're gonna spread these arms out like this. Okay, oops, wrong one. So you'll, yeah, so you spread the arms out, and you wanna clamp it kind of somewhere in the middle or a little further down on the spring, and then it pretty much clamps on itself. Might have to do some adjustment. So that looks pretty good there. Oh, let me show you guys something. So when you put this tool, the arms on the spring, you want to make sure like this hook part is fully seated on the spring, because when you go to compress it and it's not fully seated on there, it will slip, and it will, like, the whole tool will just kind of like shoot off. So you would definitely want to be careful with that. But anyway, yeah, let's keep going here. Sometimes you won't get it on the first try. Sometimes you'll have to take it back off and adjust the tool. But like I said, this tool works super nice. So, and then instead of like turning it by hand, you can use your ratchet, and it makes it so much easier. Alright, so let's get this tool on the spring. I can. Okay. Make sure it's in good position here. Okay. All right, so basically all you do is just ratchet. I'm gonna show you guys something else. So, let's get my screwdriver. So right here and right here, you want these two ears right here, or fingers, I don't know what you want to call them, but you want them to be flushed kind of on the outside of the retainer. There's like a retainer right here that sits on, kind of basically keeps the keepers intact to the valve spring. And basically when you release the tension, for when you put the valves and springs back in, it keeps the spring from, it keeps the tension on the spring. But basically you want these two ears here, you want them flush on the retainer. You don't want it in the middle, you kind of want them on the outskirts of the retainer. And I'll show you what the retainer looks like once we remove it. But you want these to be kind of on the outside of the retainer. And I'll show you when I take the retainer off, where these ears should be seated. So, all right, so all you gotta do is just start ratcheting, putting tension on the spring. And it might take a minute. You might have to hold the whole tool with this hand like this, so that the tool doesn't slip off or go anywhere. And pretty much the tool just pretty much does the job. And the only thing you're really doing is just ratcheting, putting tension on it. Alrighty. So honestly, when you're able to kind of just spin the tool like this, the spring's pretty much, it's pretty much loosened up. So the next thing we have to do, oh, well, that just happened. Alrighty. So now that we got the spring compressed, the next thing we gotta do is we're gonna take these two holders out that are in the center here, that are holding the retainer in. So there's two little holders or keepers that we have to slide out, and then we'll be able to take out the retainer, the spring, and also the valve. So let's do that here really quick. And what you want to use is just a little simple small pick tool. Yeah, nothing fancy. Just get one of these, and yeah, it'll help you get the holders out. So let's do it. Alright, so there's one. It's kind of what it looks like. You know, my camera's not the best, but take the other one out, and there's the other one. Now what we need to do, excuse me, is we need to release the tension off of the spring so that we can take the spring, the retainer, and the valve out. So all you have to do is just loosen the tool up. I'm sorry guys if my camera is not the best and you can't really see much. My lighting's probably terrible too. Alrighty. So this is the retainer right here. This is kind of what that looks like. And then this is the valve spring. And I told you guys I would show you where these ears would go on the retainer. And so basically those ears, they sit, one sits about right here, and then if you go to the other side, one sits about here. And so it's giving like even, the even amount of like force for when you are putting tension on the spring. Because if you go here in the middle, or if you go here on like, if you go on top of like right here, or even try to put it in the middle, you're not gonna get an even tension. And so you want to make sure it's those fingers or the ears are compressing on the side here of the retainer. So, all right. So now we need to get the valve out. So what I'm gonna do is turn this way, and you will see the valve. You can already see it's kind of, yep. So all you gotta do is just basically you just take your finger, your index finger, and then you're gonna just push down on this here, and then the valve should pop right out. So kind of already falling out already. So, but yeah. So sometimes they, it might, you know, it ain't gonna be easy to get it out. So maybe sometimes, I don't know. This one seems to be a lot freer, so you can just kind of pull it out like that. Sometimes they'll just need a bit of a force, you know, a little bit of push to get out. But yeah, for most of the part, they should be fairly easy to get out. But this wasn't too bad, or it wasn't seized in there, so that's really good. But yeah, this is what the valve looks like. And I believe this is the, let's see here. So I think this is the exhaust valve. And there also is an intake valve. And I probably am going to just take 2 valves out, but this one is the exhaust valve. So this will open and let all the exhaust gases out of the engine, and then I'll take the intake valve out and show you guys what that looks like. The intake one is a lot more bigger than the exhaust, but yeah, so this is what a valve looks like. Yeah. Alrighty guys, let's take another one out. Let's take the intake one out. Alright, so same process. Let's get clamp it onto the spring here. Make sure you're on there well, so that when you start really putting tension, or relieving the tension, or not, yeah, when you start putting tension onto the valve, that your tool doesn't slip off. So you kind of want to, you know, be in the center of the spring. You don't want to be too far to the right, or too far from to the left on the spring. You want to be just in the center of the spring, so that you get some good tension. All right, so start ratcheting the tool. Make sure that the ears down here are on the outside of the retainer, not in the middle. They're on the outside of the retainer, so that we get good when we got good compress, like when we, so that we're compressing the spring properly. Okay. So far it looks good. I'm kind of hoping that it does fall off on me, just so that you guys can kind of see what I mean. But we might get lucky. Alrighty. So it didn't fall off on us, so that's good. Alright, so then again, take the holders out, or the keepers. So let's do that. And we got one. I'm sorry guys again if you can't truly see good enough, but you can kind of see that I'm using my pick to take the retainer or the keeper out. Take that. And there's the other one. All right, so now we can relieve the tension. Whoops. Alrighty, take that off like that. There we are. Retainer and spring. Alrighty, let's take the intake valve out. You'll see it pop out. Bam. Take her on out. And there we are. Intake valve. And I can honestly put, so this is the exhaust valve, and this is the intake valve. You can definitely tell that the intake is much bigger than the exhaust. But yeah, so that's what they look like, and yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and just reinstall the intake and exhaust valves, just to give you guys an idea how that process looks like, and then we'll end the video. So we're gonna go ahead and put in the intake valve first and work backwards. And honestly, I'm just gonna show you guys how I organize my parts for when I take them off. That's kind of how I do it. Just organize it like this here. So I got the retainers first, then the keepers, then the spring, and then the valve itself. All right, let's get to it. So all you gotta do with the valve is just shoot it right back up into the cylinder head, and there'll be a hole in here. You'll see it. You'll literally see it. You just slide it right into that hole there. Sometimes you just gotta get up in there and see where it's at, and it just slides right back in. And I'll flip the cylinder head down. You can see the bottom of the top of the valve spring, or the valve. And so then you kind of just work backwards. Put your spring on first, and then you'll put your retainer on, and then you take the tool Oops. Gotta back it up a little bit. Alright, so you get your tool on there. And you're gonna compress it. Now sometimes the valves, sometimes when you're compressing the valve, a lot of the times you'll knock into the shaft of the valve, and it'll slide down. So honestly, if that happens, just turn the cylinder block over, push the valve back up, and then just be very careful not to bump into it so it doesn't slide back down. But if it does, just repeat that same process. So then we take the holders or the keepers, and then we just will insert them into their spot. They literally just go right in the middle. And I'm sorry guys if you guys can't really see me putting the holders back in, but they literally go right in the middle on the outside of the valve shaft, like the end of it. They sit right in there. And you want the longer, like the longer end of the keeper to be facing up. So this side here is the longer side, and then this side here, this side is the shorter side. So this shorter side will be facing down. So you want that to be facing down. So let's put her in. If I can even get her in. Sometimes these can be a pain in the butt. I might have, oh, the retainer's upside down. You gotta fix that. Let's flip it around. Alright, let's put tension back on her. Alright, let's get these retainers in, or these the keepers in. Gotta flip the cylinder head over because the valve is starting to fall out. These keepers can be a pain in the butt because they like to fall out. You just gotta be very tedious. It might take some time. But eventually they'll fall in for you. See if we can get this last one in here. It's like falling off. Ready. See if we can get this in here. Alrighty. Yeah, so it takes patience on that part to get those keepers back in. But now we can release the tension, and the spring should honestly stay in there. Everything should be seated properly. So let's release the tension on the spring. And there we go. Sometimes, well, most of the time, what I'll do is I'll take like a rubber mallet or something that has rubber on it. This screwdriver has some rubber on it. Sometimes I just kind of like to just kind of do like a tap test just to make sure that, you know, it's seated in there properly. There's no play in it. And so, yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I think I'm gonna put the exhaust valve back in, and then that will conclude our video for today. Alright, YouTube, well, that concludes our video today. Hope you enjoy it. Sorry that you might have not seen clearly enough just due to the lighting. I am working on upgrading some gear for the channel. So if you guys want to support the channel, I'll leave all of my pay apps information down in the description, and I would love to receive any help that you guys can give. If you can't, that's okay. Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification so that you don't miss a video. All right, peace.